then find a test spot. If it's not the race spot, find a test spot that's suitable. Find your ins and outs. Figure out where you're going to drop the trailer. Figure out where you're going to start. You know, like I'll even mark it off. I've got the measuring stick. I mark it off, do the whole deal. Like, and then you also look for, you know, you just count cars. You know, so you sit on the road and if you see one car every 20 minutes, you're freaking good. You know, so a lot of it has to do with strategy and planning and being able to, you know, not just jump in the truck and trailer and say, okay, we're going to go try and find a place to make a hit. Like we've done that before too.
But you end up driving around with a big ass trailer forever, and then everyone knows what you're doing because you have your truck and trailer. And
the best thing is to go out and plan through everything. So figure out where you're going to go, the direction you're going to take to get there. What, you know, are you going to come in from the front? Are you going to come in from the back? Where are you going to park the truck and trailer? Where are you going to dump it? Where are you doing your burnout? Where are you making your hit? That way, when we are ready to go make a hit, we just go make a hit. There's no, like, figuring it out on the fly. We know where we're going. We know what we're going to do. So if you do that, if you do the previous planning and everything beforehand, it makes it a whole lot easier to get it done. Because you got to figure, some cities you only got 3-4 minutes to make a hit. That's from the time you pull up to the time you load up, you know.
Yeah.
So, and it takes me 3-4 minutes to do a burnout and stage the car. So like, you know, that leaves 10 minutes of loading and unloading that you could get busted. So the best way you could do it is if you have it figured out to where when you pull up, you know exactly what you're doing. Your car's warmed up in the trailer, ready to rock. You know, all you gotta do is jump in, put the belts on, and kick it out. So we're gonna go out and do our thing. This is the crazy life of a street outlaw, or a, you know, street racer in general, I guess. So far, it's kind of funny because, oh my God. So far, we've found like 2 or 3 areas that seem really good for making some hits or whatever. But it's funny because you like pull up and you're like, oh man, this looks like a good spot right here. And then you're like, I'm gonna go down and turn around, and then you see black marks. So like, there's obviously already dudes that are here or that have been here making hits, because I don't feel like that there's a big local street race scene here that's out here making hits on this shit all the time. So, and they're 1-lane hits for the most part, you know, and then they're big tire shit. So I'm definitely thinking that we're in the right area. And obviously the only thing I'm worried about now is, so we've been rolling around since midnight. It's 3. We've seen 4 or 5 sets of black marks on different stretches of fucking road, and so far we haven't seen one truck or trailer. We haven't seen one fresh set of marks. No puddles, you know, that are still wet. So like, if they, and judging by the marks, they weren't all successful journeys. So if they were out testing before, why aren't they out testing right now? How come nobody's testing tonight? Is it because they've already hit these spots and burnt them, and now if you try and make a hit, the cops come right away and you get in trouble and shit? Or is it because, you know, they're taking the night off, they're gonna do it tomorrow? You gotta figure all this, you gotta think about all this stuff, because like, you don't want to show up to a hit or to a spot to make a hit that somebody already burnt. So like, so it could be that this is the coldest night, so they're taking the night off because it's cold, you know, because I don't think it's going to be this cold when we race. So, you know, it may not be a good idea to make a hit tonight. That might be why they're not here. Tomorrow, this place might be full of fucking trucks and trailers and whatever. Or is it because they tried these spots and they're nothing like the race spot? Like, do they know, maybe they know the race spot, maybe they know where we're racing, maybe they found the permits online, whatever. So are they making hits on these roads thinking they're like it, but then they realize it's not like it, so now they're not coming back to these? So, like, because we've done that before too, where you go somewhere and test and you chase your ass all night. Like when we were in Nebraska, we went all the way down to the end of the highway by the trucker parking lot or whatever and couldn't make a lick. And we're like, man, we're gonna be fucked. Well, turns out, you know, other people had already been down there and realized that it sucks and there's nothing like the race spot. So even though it looked like the race spot, it wasn't. For some reason, you couldn't get a lick there. So you gotta try and figure all this stuff out. The good part is that we're not completely in the dark here. What was that?
I don't know.
We're not completely in the dark here, even though it's really dark out here. We're not completely in the dark.
We are completely in the dark.
Well, because, you know, we're not starting from scratch, basically. Yeah. So seeing black marks out here has already told us so much on what we're trying to figure out. So I definitely think we're in the right areas, and, you know, there were some more marks right there. See, it's crazy. So we're on the right stretches here. So now what we'll do is we're gonna go back. So there was a cop sitting at the spot that we drove by on the way out here, and there was a cop sitting there. So what is that?
Someone's driveway.
Wow, that's weird. So there was the other thing is, this is like a wildlife refuge over here. So possibility that people are hunters or whoever over there, like, you know, they could hear you making a hit and you could scare the fucking whatever they're hunting, and then they might call the cops just to get, you know, just so they have a better hunt or whatever. So you have to think about all this stuff. It's crazy. People think that street racing is just having the balls to unload your car and make a lick, and that is a lot of it, but it's not everything. So, and like, you know, it's always funny how I was like, I couldn't tell if he was even pointing at me. But it's always funny how when we go somewhere and you show up in the middle of the fucking dark, in the middle of nowhere on some weird ass little road.
Somewhere where you would never think to see people.
Yeah, you pull up and you think, ain't nobody gonna be out here. I ain't never gonna see another person. And then it just so happens Jason Cantu is out driving around doing the same shit we're doing. So it's funny how that works. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna drive back by the first spot we saw, the better looking spot. We're gonna drive back by that on our way through and see if that cop's still sitting there, because we need to find out a time period of when he's not gonna be sitting there, and make sure that when we come out, we have a better chance of him not being there. So we'll drive back by that one, and then we're gonna look for some other spots along the way. Which way is this thing pointing? Forward? So this is one of the first spots we looked at earlier in the night, where we saw some black marks, and then there was a cop sitting in the road. And if you'll notice, this thing was going off like crazy earlier. So there's a car behind us. Yeah. So yeah, he's still up here somewhere.
It's right there, probably.
Valentine's telling us. So obviously he's sitting out here all dang night.
Yeah, he's on the side of the road. He's right there. Is a cop.
Oh yeah. Why is his tail lights on and shit? Earlier he was just sitting there. Now he's like active. Wonder if he's got somebody around here trying to test.
And he has his radar on. Earlier,
Yeah.
the radar was not on.
That is a La Villa cop. So.
What's...
And that is a cop from the next town over. So he's obviously been sent out here by the next town to sit at the end of his jurisdiction and watch the road there with the black marks. So he's just sitting here waiting on
someone to make a hit, and it's 3.
Yeah, it's already 3:40, and he's still there. Or they switched him out by now. There's no telling, but. So we may have to find a different place to make a hit than this because he's obviously going to sit out there all night.
Yeah.
So we'll keep looking. So, last night, we were out riding around trying to find a spot to test in the Escalade, and there were cops sitting at the race spot, or what we think is the race spot, all night long.
I'm pretty sure.
So tonight, we made the executive decision that we would go somewhere else, like far away. So we're like 3 or 4 towns over now from there, and
well, because we drove over to Target, and there was cops everywhere.
Yeah, and so we're pretty sure everybody knows we're coming, or that we're already here, or whatever.
And other people are starting to get here.
Yeah, and so things are getting, the block is hot, if you know what I'm saying. The block
real
is
hot.
The block is hot. So we figure 3 or 4 towns over, you know,
solid 30 miles,
here,
you know,
and do something, and we'll be the only truck and trailer driving around looking for a place to make a hit, you know, and then hopefully we find something industrial enough that's got some loud things going on around it, like airplanes and highways and stuff, then
this is it.
Maybe nobody will really know we're around.
You go
What's that
right.
road? Is that
it's
newish?
just as shitty as this one, I think.
Oh, is it?
Well, not as shitty, but.
So, that's what we're doing. We are,
we're gonna try and make a hit.
We
found this road.
We found this road, which is, I mean,
it's really similar to race road.
Almost dead nut ringer for the race road, or what we think is the race road. So,
I mean, we're pretty sure at this point.
We just got to find a nice little spot to park. Now, we could park right here on the shoulder, and that's what most people would do. But we feel like
it's a pretty dead giveaway of what you're doing.
With our car and what we're doing, we feel like if we can be off the road where people aren't seeing us while we're making passes, then we're less likely to have somebody just randomly call on us. Now, if just a cop starts driving by or whatever, he may see us pulled over in a parking lot somewhere, but if we're pulled over on the road right here and somebody's just driving to work or driving to the farm or whatever the people are driving to out here, they're going to see us on the side of the road and say, what in the hell was that?
Especially if you like park there and you got like your training cooler out, you know, it's pretty obvious, you know. It's better to park away,
if we were doing
come out, do it, and go back.
Illegal street racing in a cash days or something, then we may not be using the training cooler and all that crazy shit. We'd be, you know, but to race in America's List, you have to be able to fucking get after it. So we need to use everything we got. Now, hopefully, if we're a little ways off the road or whatever, then they don't see us when we're driving by. And the only time that we have a chance of actually getting caught doing anything, or them finding out we're here, because we don't really care if we're caught. All we give a fuck about is that we get to do it more than one fucking hit. So
I think this is the one that was kind of decent on the side road, wasn't it?
Huh?
Not
I don't know what that road looks like down there or down there, but you know, we could pull off somewhere. But so we're gonna keep driving. We went south as far as it would go. Now we're gonna go north as far as we went north. Now we're gonna go south as far as it goes, see what it looks like, and then just see if we can find a nice little place to pull over where we can do our thing and nobody will notice. You know, then hopefully before sunup we get out of here with a few good licks and some data, and nobody's the wiser. Out so I can straighten out, you know. Don't just make me start right away. And if there's a car, just we'll shut the lights off and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do, okay? And I'll shut the motor off or whatever, okay?
Okay.
If they're really far away though and you think we can make the hit, then let's do it, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Good luck.
Good? Love you, baby.
Love you.
Thank you for everything as always. back, not bad.
Nice fucking job, Jackie.
So I'm pretty sure that our last clip, which was like one of the best clips, was completely filmed in slow-mo with no audio.
I'm not good at the camera thing, okay?
Yeah.
But I did what you told me to do. I grabbed the camera, I turned it on, I hit the button you told me to hit, and I recorded everything. I recorded us walking up to the starting line to look at the black marks.
Is that a cop over there?
Because, yeah, probably. Because you had them perfectly laid over each other somehow by yourself with no help, doing the front and the
I'm
back
a
of the car.
fucking boss.
Oh, fuck. Are you serious?
Just roll through. Go.
I paused. And
We went and looked at the marks, and then some cars started coming from multiple directions. And then we started running,
we were
and
there too long.
then it was a cop.
It was 4:30. We were there too long. So
We were there too
basically-
late. We're too long. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just joking because the car started coming the other way. So we were like, run, run, run. So we were running to the truck just joking around. And then there was a car coming from the dead end that we were sitting on. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, you could tell by looking at this road. Ain't nobody driven down this road in 20 years. So I was like, that's not a that's a cop.
And in a brand new Tahoe. Yeah.
And they pulled up on the deal and he got out. And he was like, everybody okay? And I was like, yeah, we're in here in the trailer. And he walked back. He was looking at the truck. And he walked back to the trailer. And he goes, you having a bit of car trouble? And I was like,
A little bit.
and I almost just said yes, but you know,
If the fans
I
and
think
stuff
it's pretty.
weren't on
What is
it.
that? A dingo? What is that running to the parking lot?
Where?
Oh,
It's a cat. Chupacabra. It was pretty obvious because there was like a tranny cooler and fans and the parachutes were laying on the back of it.
The parachutes are out. And he goes, were you having car trouble? And I was like, no. And he goes, oh. And then he looks at the car and then he like walks to the back and he's looking at the parachutes and shit and he goes, you weren't thinking about driving that around here, were you? And I was like, and I looked at him and I almost said no because, you know, why would you admit to anything? But this guy, I'm gonna, it's just one of those moments where, you know, when a cop knows everything, that's when you lie to him. But when a cop has no idea what's going on, don't lie to him because then you make him look like an idiot. If he knows what's going on, then you can lie to him because that's the deal. You know, he knows, and you know, he knows you're supposed to lie, and he's supposed
he
to
knows
catch
the
you.
truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
But
guy
this
just
guy
like
was like seriously asking like what, if we were okay, and he was like, he's looking at the car and he's like, you weren't going to drive that around here, were you? And he looked at me and I was like, well, we don't get it out of the trailer for nothing. And he was like, he just kind of looked at me like, I can't believe you just said that to me. And so he goes, get it in. And he goes, I don't want some drunk to come out here and run smack dab into you and kill you. And I was
he
like,
was more concerned about someone hitting
I was
us.
like, okay, we'll do. And then we put it in the trailer. And then he said, are y'all racing around here? Or we were about to put it in the trailer. And he said, are y'all racing around here? And he just kind of looked at us. And I was like, we came from a long way, sir. And he was like, where from? I was like, Oklahoma City. And he goes, huh. And he goes, where are y'all racing?
He said, "Where have you been racing?" I said, "We haven't raced yet."
Yeah. He said, "Where have you been racing?" And Jackie goes, "Oh, we haven't been racing yet. Like,
But we're gonna.
He goes, "Here?" And we're like, "Yeah, like 4 towns over, or whatever, like 40 miles that way." And he was like, "Huh." And he just sat there for a minute.
He was so confused.
And he just couldn't understand what was
He
going on.
just walked off.
And so he goes, "Get it in the trailer," and he just walked off, and they never came back. And then once we got in the trailer, he drove off, and I was like, "Oh, dude, he's gonna drive right to where we made the hit,
Yeah.
and he's gonna see those marks, and then it's gonna
He's gonna
change.
drive through my pimp juice puddles in
Yeah.
his brand new Tahoe.
And then it's gonna all change. Everything's gonna change."
You know, he just armor all his his tires and everything. You know.
I just picked it up from detail.
But he was actually very nice.
He was super helpful, super nice, and so we were just honest with him because, you know.
I mean, he genuinely wanted to make sure nobody hit us.
Yeah, on a road that no one has been down in 20 years.
Yeah. But it's 5:11 a.m.
Yep. Hey, it's
So-
5:11 a.m. But you know what? We got one in.
Yeah,
Got it
buddy.
in. And it went down all the way to the finish line. It wasn't pretty, but it wasn't
I mean,
slow.
Yeah, but
So-
first one, and it's not even like that was a literal virgin road, like no hits on it.
Yeah,
Nothing.
virgin blacktop road, right off the trailer. And dude, we haven't even done a burnout with this motor. I can't stop yawning. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm tired.
We haven't even done a burnout with this motor yet. You know what I mean? Like, we just fired it up. All it had was idle time, pushing it and pulling in the trailer or whatever. So
Yeah.
it got trial by fire right there, because, man, I was 9,400 in the burnout for like a long
3:30.
ways. Yeah.
I started running
At
after
least
you.
3:30, yeah.
I started running, and then I was like, "Oh shit, there's nobody behind the car."
I backed up at least 100 foot, thinking any minute now she's gonna walk out here where she can tell me where to go, because I'm in the car going, I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I can't see shit. And then I was like, oh no, there's no one for her to. There's no one back there. So like, she's back there. So I was like, so nobody's gonna be up here. And I was like, fuck, I forgot. Holy crap! By the time I turned around, I was like, you were right there, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. You were like, they're doing this. Like, what the fuck are you doing in there?
Well, you were like staying in the marks for a while, and then I could tell when you turned around because you jerked the wheel, and you were like going hard out of the marks, and I was like, no, what are you
Great.
doing?
I was doing great, and then I turned around, and fucked it all up.
Yeah. I don't know. It was very. That's what we want on the first one, though. You know, it's not like it was super slow and it needs a lot of work.
No,
like,
it wasn't super slow, and it wasn't like on fire. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like smoked the
In
tires
1
and
mile,
didn't
take a
move.
slight left turn to merge onto I-2 West.
Remember when we went to Nebraska on the concrete up there?
Yeah.
And dude, it was like 11 hits in a row where it smoked the tires. So I go to the button, it didn't fucking move.
Well, in this one, it smoked a little bit, but it stopped,
Well,
and it wasn't
it
instant
didn't
smoke.
The tire. It was like, it was spinning, and it may have
Yeah.
had smoke coming off the tire, but it was like, it was moving. I didn't have to pedal it or nothing.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, I mean, when I let go of the button, the car like jumped up, like
Yeah.
wham, and smoked the tires. I had to fucking pedal. Hey, but we figured something out on that fucking juice, didn't we?
Use the left lane to take a slight left turn to